Hello, welcome to Fibretown. I'm Emily, and happy spring. It's a beautiful day here. It's Thursday, April 11th, 2013, and I am just having some knitting time. Thought I'd chat with you all. Yes, so welcome to Fibretown. You can find me on Ravelry as chainoffools, and take a look at the Fibretown group there. Let's see, I'm also on YouTube, on Blogspot at fibretown.blogspot.com, and I am on Instagram, which is tons of fun. I'm really enjoying that, as well as iTunes, and my videos are hosted on hipcast.com, so you can view me there as well. Alice is out in the sunshine right now, enjoying her life. Dogs just know how to live life. Eat, relax, be with the people you love, play. So it's all good. That's what Alice is doing right now. Hey, Al. All right, so I wanted to say hello to two people who introduced themselves on the introduction thread this week. We have Suzanne from Virginia. Hey there, how are you doing? And we have Kristen from Detroit. So welcome, you guys. Thanks for saying hi in that thread, and I'm glad you're here. I also want to say some thank yous to people who gave me an iTunes review. Yay! I have 3 of those, which makes me super happy. So if you are so inclined, please go and leave me a star rating or say a few words. You know how it goes. It helps me appear to people who are looking for knitting podcasts. So thank you to Lauren, Lemknit Crochet, and Marion. Thanks so much for your lovely reviews, as well as Squirrel Acre. Made my day every time I got one of those. And so yeah, makes me feel bona fide. All right, so I'm here knitting on my sock that I showed you guys the yarn last week. And I'll get to that in a minute, but so Moorish, this knitting. Even though I have poked holes in my thumb and my index finger. Time to get out the Band-Aids and poke my knitting needles against those. Okay, so you want to see my whips? Oh, let me show you this one first. This is it's a vanilla sock out of HD yarns, and I have turned the heel, as you can see, and I'm working on the gusset. So I've made this leg longer than my standard. So it's really cool how the colors work. Goes from, let's see, each color seems to go through 2 repeats if you want. So we have the pink with the brown, and then the pink with the green. And then the pink disappears and the green picks up. So green with the pink, green with the yellow. And then green has been through its 2 turns, so now we have yellow. Yellow with green, yellow with blue. Oh, sorry. It's coming out as yellow, but it's orange in real life. That's weird. And the rest of it has some, there's some purple in there and some burgundy-ish colors. See if I can get that to focus. Let me see this side. So yeah, this is HD yarns, and I'm having fun with the fabric is nice that it's making. I was a little worried because I had heard, I think Lauren, Lemknit Crochet, told me that they might use a knit pick space. I don't know if that's the case or not. You can go on and see on the Etsy store, HD yarns. Oh, that doesn't have the Etsy address, but there's got the email address. But it is on Etsy, and it's hand-dyed self-striping. And what I love, this is the Dynamics colorway. It gives you a view of how they knit up. So I was able to estimate, just based on this picture, how much cuff I can knit before I need to turn the heel. So I think I'm going to do the other one pulling from the opposite end of the ball. So I'll have brown down to pink for one and pink up to brown. Did that make sense? No, reverse. You know what I mean. I haven't decided yet. We'll see. But I started this less than a week ago, so this is super fascinating for me. The stripes just make you want to just get to the next one, and then I'll get to the next one, and then I want to get to the next one. Anyway, so that's very fun. Started that last Friday night. Yes, indeed. And my other work in progress. I think I told you all last week that I would have my sleeves done on my Old Town. And I kind of do. And really, I'm going to consider this one sleeve I finished as my sole finished object. This is how much I have left of this great big ball of 600 and some yards that I started with. This looks like a hot mess, but it is coming together. I have a sleeve. I was doing both at the same time, but for a couple of reasons I stopped. And one was that it was a pain. I was pulling from two ends of the same ball, and it was getting tangled all the time. And the second was that I started to wonder if the rate of decreases was too slow for me. You know, I have a pretty standard jiggly lady upper arm, and then I have a very small forearm with a tiny, like, child wrist. So I thought I might need to modify the rate of decreases, and I did. So I was thinking I need to see if it works with the first sleeve before I do the second, because how much would that stink to have to pull out two sleeves? So there we go. And it fits really well. It's not blocked yet, but you can see the shoulders look great when the sleeves are on. And yay! I'm gonna love this when this lace is blocked out. It's gonna look great. Somebody was asking me about the color of this yarn, and is it variegated or is it really a solid gray? It is not a solid gray. This is Blue Moon Fiber Arts BFL Sport in the Winter Solstice colorway, and it is very slightly, I'm trying to remember which collection that comes from. You know, they have like the Water Spirits and the Raven Spirits or whatever. You can go on their website and look at how they arrange their colors, but I don't remember which group this came from. But it is a very subtly variegated, very subtly, like oyster gray and like dove gray. So this is all one skein, and I was thinking it wouldn't have helped me to alternate skeins anyway because of the construction. It's not as if it's row, 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 row. It's done in blocks. So this is my story, and I'm sticking with it. So I mattress stitched this sleeve up last night, and yeah. So I did have to, I think I was doing decreases every so many rows as the pattern recommended, and then when I got to a certain point below my elbow, I started doing the decreases more frequently. And I ended up with the same amount of stitches at the end. So it hits me at a great point. This is pre-blocking, so it will grow, and I'm happy with it. I need to get that other sleeve knocked out, and they do go much faster if you do them one at a time. So that's really my only finished object, is that one sleeve, but I'm calling it done. And I think this is the very first time on Fibretown that I haven't had an FO, but that's all right. I do have a spinning FO. Do you want to see that? All right, so you all know that Maryland Sheep and Wool is coming up. I might have mentioned that a few times. And I took one of my bumps, and I was thinking, you know, my only experience with spinning loop turned into that, sorry, Charlie, that I'm knitting into that lacy shawl. Thinking, do I really love spinning this stuff and using this stuff? And to be fair, the lace is giving me a huge headache. It's just taking forever. But this stuff can spin fine with very little effort. So I made a conscious effort to take a loop bump, and I own two other ones, and see if I can spin it Aran or bulky or worsted. And I took my, the one I have called Rosebud, and I spun it fairly thick, single, and then I Navajo plied it. And here you see it is balled up, and I know that middle color is in shadow. And the Navajo plying is not my greatest ever, but let me see if I can see it better. Oh, a little farther away you can see it better. So it has this very interesting charcoaly purple, and then this dusty, I don't even know how to describe this one right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors, and this lovely purple and this pink that I just adore, and then a lilac. So I got 120 yards of a Navajo ply, and this will become a hat. I think it'll be an awesome hat. So yeah, that's my spinning FO. Loop. Oh, I think what I'm gonna do, I am gonna get more loop. It is fun to spin. The colors are pretty incomparable. So if you've seen on the loop group, I don't know if they call it that, there's a whole thread for getting 2 coordinating colors and then spinning them as singles, 2 coordinating bumps, spinning them as singles and then 2 plying them. I think that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna get at Sheep and Wool and try that. So, and then maybe an extra if I can. All right, so I finished the Rosebud. I washed a ton more of my Finn Fleece so that I now have all of this done, quite a bit. I think I have 1 or 2 more batches of fleece to wash. And there's still a little veg matter in there. You can see some straw, but look at the shine on it. Usually long wools have that shine to them, and finer next to the skin wools may not. But this one has just got great qualities, and I love the little curls. They're so sweet. It's gorgeous stuff, and I'm really kind of at a loss as to what to do with it. Do I card it all and spin it into a sweater, or do I dye some of it and make cool bats, or do I get combs and comb it and do other stuff with it? Because the Fleece and Fiber source book says that it is wonderful when it's combed. So that is still rattling around my brain. I don't know what to do with it. Maybe you all have some ideas. I think it's going to end up being about 2 pounds of wool. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of loss at all in this fleece. Usually, I think you can get up to like 40-50% loss of the raw fleece weight because you lose weight when the lanolin is washed out, because that does add some weight to the fleece. And then you have maybe second cuts that are not great and you need to throw them away, or you've got poopy matter that doesn't come out, and this one hasn't had any so far. So. And then the veg matter does add up, I guess, in weight if it's if it was a sheep that liked to roll around in burrs and all sorts of other stuff. All right, so I do have another spinning thing. What I'm doing with spinning right now is I'm attempting to spin most everything that I got at last year's Sheep and Wool so that I can figure out if I want to buy that type of fiber again. So far I've done the loop. Next is going to be some fiber optic. This is the chocolate aqua gradient, 80% merino, 20% silk. I got 2 of these last year at Maryland Sheep and Wool. I got this one, and then I got a purple, like a lavender chocolate. This is a picture. Hang on a sec. I just put this on the wheel, so I'm not going to take off the bobbin and just show you my little bit that I have done so far. Looks like this. And I've started with the very light aqua in the center. And that I'm going to spin as a single and then Navajo ply it. Next on the wheel is going to be some Into the World. I've spun that vegetable medley bat, but that's the only Into the World I've spun. This is a Polworth silk. It's in the Gwydir colorway, and it looks like this. So this will give me an idea of what I want to purchase in a few weeks when I go back to Maryland. Yay! It's really pretty. Purples and greens together. It's a great combination. Oh, and it does have a little bit of creams as well. So that's coming up on the wheel. What else? All right, so that's spinning. let me tell you about acquisitions. I was gifted, I think it was Giselle'ser, I think her name is Joyce. She nominated me to receive the Leaf Pi Shawl from Sock Bunny Knit and Fit, and thank you so much, Joyce. I really love this. It's a beaded shawl. And Kimberly, who has that podcast, gave away a lot of these. Oh, there's Alice. Alice doesn't bark much, but if there are birds or squirrels outside, you're going to hear her. Okay, so this is the Bee Leaf Half Pi Shawl. Excuse me, I called it a pie shawl. Really gorgeous. So that will go in my queue. I'm not sure when it will get knit. I'm not really feeling the lace right now, but I've loved knitting lace in the past, so I'm sure that will come back. And the other acquisition is a podcast win. Aloha Blue in Waimanalo flowers from alohablue.etsy.com. I won this on the Lemknit Crochet podcast. Look at this. I won this for her histiocytosis donation giveaway. I donated some funds to her fundraising efforts to raise awareness for this rare disease and to commemorate her friend Josh, who passed away from it. This is right up my alley. It reminds me of like a Bollywood dance number. It's purples and oranges and pinks, and it's really lovely. It's wool, 100% wool. Superwash merino, 490 yards, 3-ply fingering. So pretty. So that's my acquisitions. All right, so up and coming. I did some spring cleaning this week. My foot's doing much better. I'm not wearing the boot anymore. Excuse me, I'll have a drink of water. I got the green light from the orthopedist yesterday to take the boot off. It's healing very well. I have to go back in a month to check it again. But yeah, so I've been able to get around a bit better, and I aired out my stash. Maybe twice a year, 3 times a year, I like to take it all out, reorganize it, air it out, and previously I had it arranged in Roy G. Biv order. Yep. And this time I decided to do things differently. I had a shelf dedicated to sock yarn. And if you're on Instagram, you've seen pictures of this. And then I had a whole cabinet, like an IKEA bookshelf, with just sweater quantities. How many sweater quantities do you have? It was eye-opening for me to see how many I had. Yeah. 22 sweater quantities of yarn. And only 2 of those, that's adult sweater quantities. Only 2 of those were man-sized quantities, so I should knit some more sweaters. All in good time. So I did that. That was a lot of fun. And that inspired me to sort of spin some of these other things. And I found some old whips. I thought I'd show you this crochet one. This is Barocco suede, and this is some sort of maybe classic elite cotton, or cotton, Taki Stacy Charles. I don't know. I don't have the bands anymore, but it's a mercerized cotton made in Greece. So whatever that is. And I have all of these granny squares. And these were supposed to be a pattern, a purse pattern from the Debbie Stoller Happy Hooker book. Yes. So I've got 4 of these, and I used my great-grandmother's, one of her crochet hooks. It actually says 25 cents on it. I don't know if you can see. Probably not. No. Oh, this isn't the one that says 25 cents. I have another one. Susan Bates. Yeah. So that kind of brings extra luck to the project. But I don't know what I should do with it. It's really tightly crocheted. maybe I'll pick it up at some point. And I guess you knit these squares and sew them together and make a purse, a bag. So it could work, it could be fun. So that's out on a shelf now. So I have all of these forgotten things that are out in plain view. So out of sight, out of mind. So I'm thinking I'll walk by it every day and maybe at some point I'll want to work on it. All right, so, I also cleaned off Fiona, my ladybug. And I decided to make my own wood wax because I had the ingredients at home. I had some beeswax that's like for sewing threads. So I took a pickle jar and I melted the beeswax, some paraffin, which I had already from, one of those paraffin spa treatments. What else went in there? Olive oil, and I had some lavender essential oils. Stirred it all up with my chopstick. Heated it, melted it, and it works really well. I think that I would tweak the recipe next time and add more olive oil because it ended up really crumbly. But it's nice, actually. It's at room temperature right now. So, and it shined up. Smells wonderful. Shined up Fiona beautifully. I wiped her down with a damp cloth. I used some Murphy's oil soap, cleaned her off, and then I dried her and waxed her. And she's doing great now. I had to tighten up some of her screws as well. Well, that was a little DIY thing that saved me some PayPal funds. What else? So I made my shopping list for sheep and wool, but I made my faux shopping list, also known as If I Were a Rich Girl. That's so much fun. You should do that. And then I'll take that ridiculous list and whittle it down to what I really want and go from there. So I'm definitely going to be there on Saturday, probably till mid-afternoon, from the sunrise to mid-afternoon, and then if I'm up to it, I might go back on Sunday. And I would like to take some video to show you guys, and I'm just very excited to go this year, as I am every year. But all right, so really I think that's all I've got for you guys today. Looking at my list. Yep, so come and see me on Ravelry, Instagram, Chainoffools, or Fibretown. If you think about it, do the iTunes thing. I'd be eternally grateful. I'm on Hipcast, I'm on iTunes, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Blogspot. Yeah. So anyway, I will see you guys next week, and until then, happy knitting!